When the CEO feels like the market's not giving their company enough credit, sometimes they got to take action. They have to unlock that value themselves. And that's what we're seeing right now at XPO Logistics, the roll-up transportation play created by Brad Jacobs a decade ago. Recent years, the stock had lost its mojo, despite the nonstop boom in e-commerce. It certainly wasn't Brad's fault. They were doing great. So early last December, XPO decided to spin off its faster-growing logistics business as an independent company to make this story simpler and easier for Wall Street to digest. Look, I thought it was a very smart move, and sure enough, XPO's rallied roughly 56% since then. But as we get closer to the actual breakup, we got to learn more about the businesses being spun off. It's going to be called GXO Logistics. After the close, the combined company reported an excellent top and bottom line beat, and much of that strength was driven by the soon-to-be separate logistics unit that you can own. I think it's been very enticing. So let's take a closer look with Malcolm Wilson. He's the CEO of XPO Logistics Europe, who's been named as the new CEO of GXO Logistics spinoff. Get a better sense of the situation. Mr. Wilson, welcome to Mad Money.
Thanks for having me on the show, Jim.
Okay, so Malcolm, we need you to explain, because we have been huge supporters of Brad from when the stock was at the 20s. But now we've got a business that we liked, and maybe it's even bigger than we think. What parts of XPO Logistics business are becoming GXO?
So XPO, it's going to spin off its logistics business as GXO. It's going to create two world-class powerhouse companies. Transportation in XPO, LTL, and truck brokerage, and the logistics, that's the warehousing, that's going to become GXO.
Now, why is it better to be separate? I mean, I would have thought that the two work together really well.
Jim, it's going to allow the management of the logistics portion of the company, GXO, they're going to be able to really laser focus on the customers. It's going to allow them to make the decisions in terms of capital application, CapEx for growth, acquisition. Everything's going to be tailored towards the logistics sector of the business. It's really going to be a very dynamic organization towards customers.
You know, Malcolm, I know logistics. I mean, we've had Zebra on, Honeywell's got a logistics, the intelligence. Who do you really compete against? Those companies, or do you compete against the companies that are just giant warehouse companies?
Jim, GXO, it's going to be the second largest logistics company in the world. The reality is there is no strong direct competitor that competes across all of the different markets that GXO is working in. Of course, there's going to be some local competitors in country by country, maybe even some competitors that specialize in a particular vertical, maybe chemicals or agribusiness. But in terms of the breadth of GXO, there's going to be very few companies that you can compare this organization to. It's really a world-beating environment.
Oh, but let's talk about e-commerce, retail, food and beverage, consumer technology. I see Apple, H&M, I see Zara, I mean, Nestle's. These are all the biggest, the Coca-Cola. These are all your customers?
Absolutely, Jim. You know, GXO ranks 30% of the Fortune 100 companies as its customers. And the great thing about GXO is the customers that we work with, they stay for a long time. Of the top 20 customers, 15 years is the average tenure of those customers. So these are really sticky, long-term relationships. Once we're working with customers, they very, very seldom decide to work away from GXO.
All right, can you give us a sense, because you're the head of XPO Europe, and XPO just had some great numbers. How bad is Europe because of COVID?
Europe's recovering. You know, if I think about UK, it's broadly at a similar pace of recovery and vaccine rollout to the US. So it's quite advanced. And if I think about the rest of Europe, generally things are expected to get back to normal by early June. So pretty much we're expecting all of the markets that XPO and GXO, for that matter, are working in to be back to full recovery really by around the early part of June.
Okay, so tell us what the secret sauce is. What do you offer that we've had all the warehouse companies on, the real estate investment trust. We've had the companies that do robots, but not really at the level you do. What kind of expertise do you have that the other guys don't have, that they keep picking you as their representative for logistics?
You know, Jim, GXO, it's benefiting right now from three mega trends that's happening in the logistics world. One is about outsourcing. So more and more big organizations are looking to companies like GXO to help them with the expertise that exists in GXO, expertise in automation or expertise in managing big volumes. There's also another mega trend, which is e-commerce. We've all been affected by that. More and more people are buying online, and that's really in the wheelhouse of GXO. E-commerce is our biggest single activity. It represents almost 40% of our business solutions. We operate the largest e-commerce fulfillment centers in Europe.
Okay.
And the last trend, as you mentioned, is about industrial automation and robotics.
Right.
More and more of our solutions are involving automation and robotics. It's an expertise that really exists in GXO. We were a first mover in this activity, and it's really benefiting us now.
Well, look, this could be a very exciting company. It's going to be very few like it that are publicly traded. And if it's anything like what happened with XPO, it's going to be terrific. I want to thank Malcolm Wilson, the new CEO, by the way, of GXO Logistics. Great to see you, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
If you want to know the way of the future, it is logistics. And this company is the independent way to play it. Mad Money's back after the break.